All right. We are live. Welcome to the new year, 2023. And with the new year is coming a new format for the show going forward. Because I felt like trying to fit 3 movies in 1 week can get a little taxing, and sometimes we try to do 4, and it's like because there's like multiple movies we want to talk about with a topic, so we try to cram them in so then we can get to the next topic the next week. But now what we're going to start doing is each month is going to be a different topic, and then each week we'll watch a different movie, so 4 movies a month, each one pertaining to that topic. And this month we're doing disaster movies, like natural disaster movies. I thought about like including like shit like Independence Day or War of the Worlds, but then I started thinking about, well, we'll just do an alien invasion or just alien in general month.
Alien disaster movie.
Yeah, I think we should keep it to like natural disaster.
And so this week
You gotta do signs.
This week, oh yeah, dude, we're gonna do an alien one. That might be next month. It's either aliens or musicals next month. But
Aliens.
this month we're doing disaster movies. And so for this week, the first movie is actually Natalie's pick. She absolutely loves this movie, and she will explain to you why in a minute here. But the movie is Volcano from 1997, starring Tommy Lee Jones and Don Cheadle and a bunch of other people that have shown up in a lot of really great stuff in the last like 20 years, but also appeared in this movie. So, Natalie, I'll let you take it away here and tell us why you wanted us to watch this movie.
A great movie. It's funny.
Wow.
It's good for the family. It's a family movie.
That's all you get. That's all you get.
You what the guys' favorite parts were.
Oh.
All right, yeah. So I know what Natalie thinks of this movie. I kind of got an idea from Sam, and I'll get more from him on this episode. But Beck, I do want to know what your impressions initially on this movie are.
So I watched this movie for an hour and like 45 minutes. I know there was a volcano. And I know there was Tommy Lee Jones. So the thing is, there's this movie and there's another one with Pierce Brosnan. I think. Something like that. I always get these two mixed up if that's the correct guy. And I thought I was watching the other one, and then I realized like halfway through I wasn't. So that's fun. But I know this movie because I've heard its reputation on how shit it is, and I didn't realize. I was like, oh, it's this one. Until I think we see the lava for the first time, and it's like melting a gate, and it just looks like it's like a quarter of an inch off of what they're trying to animate it onto. It's a
I think
movie.
the first time I watched this movie, I was like 10. My dad showed it to me, and I'm like, in the near future, we went to LA and actually went to the tar pits, and he's like explaining the movie through the actual tar pits. And he's like, if you look here, it's like, this is where the volcano would actually be. I'm like, father. Yeah.
The sentient, evil, dead volcano.
Yes.
The thing that just
when he,
swallows people and evidence and then goes back down into the ground.
It really
OJ.
is like an Evil Dead volcano.
It was. It was like a fucking
lava just was like when it was done.
a deadite Kano.
It was the mist. It was like the woods around the cabin. Oh god, I love that, like this, like, was it when they pulled that one surviving worker like out of the manhole wherever they were working, and they're like, oh, this isn't a steam burn, and they grab the material, and she's like, it's something else. I was like, no shit. Like, he didn't have an answer. It's like, well, clearly, like, we just deduced that it wasn't a steam burn because it doesn't leave char.
Even when the scientists, they go down into the tunnel and they're like looking at everything, they have these masks and everything on, and she's trying to sniff it. She's like, I can't smell it.
Let me shove this in your breathing tube real quick. So
And when we were watching this, I'm just like laughing on my own because I would see just random things and I'm like, oh, that's what this happens. Like, that's what happens to this object in about 30 minutes. And then I just start laughing. Like, the first time that the tar pits were shown and it was like the elephant, I just started laughing. And then it was like later on, the elephant just starts slowly sinking into the tar pit.
oh my, everything just sunk into it. Like it didn't like fall over. It was just like straight up, and it just disintegrated like Arnold Schwarzenegger at the end of Terminator. Thumbs up in the air, like I'm good.
That is what I could have sworn that scene where Ernie from fucking George Lopez is knocked out and was it Twisty the clown from fucking American Horror Story? It goes in there to save him. Yeah, the guy who played Twisty
He played Stan, right?
Yeah, whoever the guy was that went in.
Carol Lynch.
Yeah, so he went in and saved that guy when he came out and he was like melting into the volcano and he threw the dude like 3 or 4 feet. Like he's the fucking strongest man alive.
Could he have not thrown him from the train?
Behind him helping him. Like as he's melting, he throws his man that's clearly like maybe 100 pounds heavier than him, just like.
Yeah. And then when he was sinking, I swear I saw him going like this as he was going down.
Like if you knew you were dying in that cliche way.
Sam literally was like, I swear if anyone melts into this lava, I'm gonna be
No, I said if anyone sinks into the lava. You wouldn't sink into lava.
Gollum sank in the lava.
Gollum wouldn't sink into lava.
Anakin didn't.
I hate you. Those were Stan's last words.
The
The first time that the high ground screwed someone over.
Dude, my favorite part of this whole movie is the fact that the guy who's I think it was OEM or whatever, but the chief of emergency response. It's like it opens up with the whole thing about how he's like the highest ranking member of the emergency response task force, and his whole thing is like if shit goes down, he has the full authority of the mayor to use all the city's resources. And so he's in like a really high ranking job, and he's like supposed to be like this good scientist guy that's like able to plan for stuff like this. And then we spend the entire movie learning about volcanoes and lava through this guy. Like he's like, what's magma? Well, what is this? He like did not know. He'd never heard of a volcano before.
He did grow up in Mississippi, though.
Dude, they didn't have a science class in 5th grade where someone makes
Probably not.
Stuff you would have to learn all this stuff.
a baking soda volcano.
Fucking religion, Devin.
Yeah, they taught creation theory.
What? God never made a volcano.
Dude, I still really want to go to. There's a creationist museum here in Ohio where it's like,
Is there?
Yeah, Eric Andre went there when he was here to do a stand-up show in Columbus, so I saw some pictures from it. But it's just like they have exhibits where it's like man standing next to dinosaur, and it's like this is accurate. The science is wrong, and here's why. This is how it actually was, and man lived with dinosaurs in peace. And it's just like it looks wild. But yeah, so that's just, I don't know, that guy not knowing what a volcano is and it being Tommy Lee Jones, just, it was fucking hilarious to me.
So I'm interested. At what age did you guys start like staying at home by yourself?
11 or 12.
I think like 10.
I don't know.
Sam was just Sam doesn't remember not being alone.
The 13-year-old, however old she is, gripping this teddy bear and she calling the dad's calling the babysitter.
Well,
maybe she's just like
she literally.
It's his baby girl. It's a dangerous city.
Yeah, it was like currently like a natural disaster was happening, and Yeah, she said she could stay on her own,
One
but it's like...
earthquake. In the beginning, it was one earthquake, and he's like calling the babysitter. The wife is all mad that the dad isn't, that the kid is staying home alone. Like, there was a whole argument on a phone call because she wasn't with the babysitter. She's like, what does she know how to do during an earthquake?
You never heard of aftershocks? Sometimes those are worse than the regular earthquakes. He probably just wanted somebody there.
Start him young. She's old enough.
She's
Not
13.
need a babysitter.
If that started happening, I would have just like played Xbox and went down with the ship. I would have no like self-preservation. I was just like, yeah, no.
I think she needed a babysitter.
She's
Well,
dumb for a 13-year-old, so she probably did.
I was gonna say,
She
like,
was just standing next to a car as lava was hurled towards the
yeah,
car.
she literally was not running away. She's just like, Dad!
That was her only line throughout the movie.
And then she didn't even honk the horn
Yeah.
when he told her to.
What's a horn?
She just got out of the car.
Which honestly was probably the right move since the car did get engulfed by lava. But still, she could have honked the horn on her way out.
Let's talk about that jumping scene where he carries her up on top of the car and jumps over the lava while holding her. Doesn't drop her at all when they land.
And
Armor, Natalie.
and then it goes into slow-mo. Oh yeah, I mentioned plot armor because that scene where they're hanging off the ladder of that fire truck and it's taking them over
Should have been crushed.
a pit of magma, and they're hanging off of this metal ladder with their bare hands, and there's a dude laying on top of the ladder above them that is engulfed in flames, and they're just like, I'm like, damn, man, plot armor is also fireproof, bro. It's the best armor around.
So are stone concrete barriers.
It's like you mentioned the him jumping off the hood of that car, like it's like the fire is so horribly put into that scene, and then it's like all slow-mo and shit. But there was also, it reminded me of, there was that moment right before, I think his name was Stan, jumps out of the back of that train to save Ernie, and he lands in the magma and he throws him. Before, he's just standing in the doorway of the bus, and there's like fire like right here. It looks like he's standing in the fire, and then they're just like, you gotta jump. It's just,
they were like, just forget about him. You can't save him.
They should have both lit on fire standing in that doorway.
Well, he had those rubber soles on,
Yeah.
and they were conducting the heat really well. Oh, that was.
Sam, what was your biggest issue with this movie?
It was
Either
boring.
the guy melting so fast, Stan melting so fast, or the ladder over the lava.
Oh, really? It wasn't the part where nobody was sweating for most of the movie?
Oh yeah, that's true.
You were mad. Just nonstop Googling. He's like, guys, how much do you think lava, how hot do you think it is?
Do you want to know? Beck?
Yeah. Yes.
2,200 degrees.
How hot's that? What? I'm sorry, I don't understand standard. I only know metric.
Yeah.
Euro trash.
People.
Sorry.
1250 degrees Celsius.
Chefs,
What's
man.
that in Fahrenheit?
I just told you Fahrenheit.
Chefs, man, I have a baker's brain. Mine is just baker's percentages and grams. Yeah, what's the Fahrenheit to gram ratio on that? So I can really understand it.
It's hot as fuck.
Ah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of yeast.
It's
As we call it, as we say in the business, that's a lot of yeast.
it's more than a concrete barrier could stop.
Well, multiple. They had hoses.
A bus.
Yeah, the whole, oh dude, when they started shooting at the bus they're like trying to push it over and they're like shooting at it.
He's like, on my count, 1, 2, 3, and they're all like lined up. Like, it's a fire.
But this movie did have a great message. It really did. The message was
We're all gonna die.
everybody looks the same. Everybody is the same. And racism is bad and doesn't exist anymore because this movie fixed it.
Yeah, when the guy was helping, after they uncuffed him, he helped carry the
He
barriers.
was gonna be the next Rodney King.
Racism is gone.
Racism's dead.
It's like that Pepsi commercial.
They lifted up a concrete barrier together, and now they're brothers for life.
They walked up to the lava and gave it a can of Pepsi, and it just received.
I mean, the lava could have done that. We saw it happen multiple times in the movie, where the shit came out and then just went right back into the ground. It literally
just go home.
It sucked. It sucked the one science lady's friend down there, and then later on, there was they were lowering a camera down, and the volcano was like, "No evidence," and just took the camera down and went right back down with the camera.
I ain't going back. I ain't going back to the clink, man. I can't remember the dog's name. It's earlier part of the movie, but what? No, the little dog.
Oh, the little dog
screaming for the entire time.
I thought he was about to be the main character.
Me too. I was on the phone with somebody and I'm like, I swear to God, if this dog doesn't survive. And then it just ran. I love that it grabbed its bone and then ran out the doggy door. But my issue is that they didn't just open up the door because they were right there. It was leading directly out to them, not a side or even the front door. It was just, they could have just walked up and opened up the door.
Probably.
They didn't want to risk it, man. Plus,
gotta figure it out on
that dog squared up to magma.
If they did that, then that dog wouldn't have had his starring fucking role in the movie. His role wouldn't have been anything. Instead, he got a heroic moment. Probably the most heroic moment of the whole movie is this dog escaping with his bone. He saved his bone and got the hell out of there, and that's all that matters in life. That's the real message of the movie, actually.
I take it back. That is the most perfect scene of any movie I've ever watched. Tarantino needs to take some notes from Volcano.
Yeah, man, Umbrella's a dog in a movie.
Not Will Smith.
Well, he loved that dog. It's just...
And then he killed that dog.
That dog started turning.
Did you say turning or trigger warning?
Turning.
I said trigger warning.
Okay, that's what I thought. Sorry.
Worst part of I Am Legend.
Worst part of Full Metal Alchemist. No?
Not an anime guy.
It's Sam. The Chimera. You want to scar yourself, you should watch that show.
Yep. It's an episode, the first season episode, 8.
It is. It hits more in the original version because they build it up. In Alchemist, I think in Brotherhood they make it a little too quick. One thing that original did better.
Yeah, speaking of...
talking about...
Sorry, I did want to add on to that real quick. There's an anime movie that I really want to watch that I haven't seen, but I keep seeing come up on different lists for some of the best movies of all time. Some of the best horror films of all time. It's a movie called Perfect Blue.
I haven't heard of
it. I've seen stuff for it. It's apparently a psychological thriller horror film, but it's an old 90s anime, and it's apparently a really awesome fucking movie. I always see the image of it. Looks like this girl in a bath, but she's fucking traumatized, and she's just kind of clutching her knees. And so it's it's apparently...
She quits her band to become an actress and sheds her good girl image to further her...
Yeah, apparently it's a really intense, thriller, but it's an anime. And I've been meaning to watch it, honestly, since that Halloween where I had that list of 100 some odd movies I was trying to get through in the month of October. One of them was Perfect Blue, but I never got around to watching it. It just keeps coming up on different stuff, so I want to... check it out at some point. But
watch Neon Genesis.
Also Akira.
Damn it, Bobby! What'd I tell you about splicing your jeans?
But yeah, so back to Volcano. The Volcano, like I keep saying, it had like these weird abilities, like it would fucking get cut. It would like knowingly take things down into the ground, and then it also had like the best fucking aim of any volcano ever, and then it was just nailing everybody with these fucking lava rocks.
Predator missiles.
Yeah.
Scenes. The initial scene of when like all hell is breaking loose is just so much. When they're trying to drive to get to the like weather station or whatever it is, and they just get stranded. Like you said when we were watching, like who was the dude on the phone just like giving the play-by-play of everything that was happening?
Oh yeah. Two firemen just engulfed in flames. Oh, humanity. He's like slapping it out in Morse code for everybody to understand. Like,
he's literally just on the phone with his grandma. That's who he's on the phone with. He's just describing shit to his grandma. Because they didn't really make it clear if he was a news guy or anything.
I think he just wanted to talk to somebody before he went.
And then the scene, it's like the first scene of the cops and the one guy from the neighborhood, and the cop said something to him, but it like ended in, I forget how it ended, but it was like something about like get out of my face, bro. But it was like so hard for no reason.
Yeah, he's like there's families, houses burning, bro. He's like, get out of my face, bro. Yeah, also speaking of the police, the fucking most wasted use of Keith David in the history of cinema right there.
Jesus wept.
Having him fucking come in to be the police chief, he like literally did nothing. And then he had like just a couple lines, and then that was it. They couldn't even give this man the same like treatment they gave the doctor lady or Tommy Lee Jones' daughter. Like, all these different characters had like just a little bit of establishment at the beginning of the movie before everything went down. This dude just shows up in the middle of the movie and does nothing, and then that's it. And it's Keith fucking David. Come on now.
No, you're right. That's Keith fucking David, my guy.
Have you
He
seen?
invented like the first VR.
Well, yeah, he was also in. Have you ever seen They Live? It's a John Carpenter movie.
Shit, yes.
Yeah.
He was the
He was the one that he's trying to get the glasses on, and they have like that whole fucking fight scene where he's just like, put on the glasses. Yeah, he's fucking great. And he was in.
I kind of forgot that he was in that. That's like one of his like I think movies that flew under the radar, but it's one of my favorites of his.
Yeah, and then he was in The Thing. Like, he's been in some great fucking shit. And then he's in this, and they just completely wasted him. Don Cheadle had a good role, though. The cast was, like I said, kind of surprising for this movie. Like, in terms of...
Kind of like, Martians? Fuck. Oh, sorry. Go on. I'll pull it. I'll think of it.
I liked Don Cheadle had a line that was so fucking 90s. Especially 97. It was so 90s. He's, like, watching... Tommy Lee Jones' character is Mike. His name is Mike in the movie. Defeating the lava, basically. And then Don Cheadle's character is like watching it and he's just smiling. He's like, man, I want to be like Mike. And that's like everybody used to say that in the 90s, but it was in reference to Michael Jordan. That's why they even had that movie, Like Mike, where, this kid, yeah, the Stuart Little kid, he gets a pair of Michael Jordan shoes. And, no, I think he's friends with, if I remember right, he's in that movie, but I think he's best friends with Bow Wow. And Bow Wow gets Michael Jordan's fucking basketball shoes, and he puts them on, and it gives him the ability to do these crazy dunks. This is a terrible movie, but I liked it as a kid. But the point is, this was like a big thing. This was like I think even like ad campaigns were built on this slogan of "Be like Mike." So then he's just like, man, I want to be like Mike. I was like, this is the most 90s shit I've seen in a minute. Like, just right there.
I still think there's like, I think it was 90s Steel that we watched.
Oh my
I feel
god.
like that's, I mean, like,
Masterpiece.
technically, like, that's like the action. Masterpiece. But it's like, it's got that same vibe, but like just not as amplified.
Bro, that scene where she's like, your ribs must be hurting you pretty bad. He's just like, nah. I still laugh about that shit like once a week.
Stand up.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do another one of those where we just do bad fucking movies.
Sorry, I'm sorry. So, you like this movie for its like humor or comedic side, like that you realize
it's not a good movie.
Right?
Who are
Me? Sorry, I was just
No, Natalie. Literally anybody else.
What was the question?
I was talking to chat.
Has anybody
No,
said
that's
anything
what-
in chat?
You like no, not at all. I was asking. You like this movie like purely for the side that like you know it's bad and like you find that funny, right?
Laughing the entire time.
Yeah,
Okay, good. I just had to make sure like you.
She doesn't think this is a fucking like cinema like masterpiece.
You never
Like,
know. You never know, and I've only talked to Natalie one other time, so like, be fair.
My dad and I would watch this movie every couple months because we would have like disaster movie Sundays or whatever the fuck, and we would watch it. And the commentary that we would make during this entire movie, like it's all like a fucking building exploded, and I was cracking up down there. Like when all the windows shot out of the one building, I was cracking up. Like this movie is just so much for no reason.
It doesn't have a right to go as hard as it does.
well, like I said, when she was telling me about this movie, I was thinking this is gonna be like B movie trash type shit. I'm not gonna know anybody in this movie. And then I like looked up the movie to make sure that there weren't like multiple Volcano movies, and then I would have to specify which one we were gonna watch. But the fucking second I saw Tommy Lee Jones was in it, I was like, oh, what? And then I looked at the rest of the cast. I'm like, Don Cheadle, Keith David, what the fuck? Okay. And then I didn't think the acting was terrible. It wasn't anybody's best performance, but it wasn't the worst. It was just very written, very dramatically, and the characters were very dumb. Like all of them were like, it felt like if your emergency response committee was ran by the Three Stooges.
Sorry.
Could the Three Stooges make a concrete barricade?
I bet they could.
They
Honestly,
would probably use Curly as the barricade.
dude, they would figure out a way to stop it, but it would involve like poking the lava in the eye or something.
I was gonna say, fly at it.
Whoop.
It makes me think of Mars Attacks because I think that came out like a year prior, and it's shitty movie with the most absurd cast members.
I think Natalie mentioned that movie before.
It's so bad, but it's amazing.
Or no.
Mars Attacks.
No, I'm thinking of a different movie.
Collision Earth.
Collision Earth, that's what I'm thinking of. Mars Attacks.
Collision Earth is when Mars is gonna collide into Earth.
Um,
That's a fun one.
Mars Attacks, that's the one with like the aliens where you can see their brains and they're like,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay. I still have to see that movie, but my buddy Chip fucking loves that movie.
It's when the credits are like, or the opening credits are rolling in and the cast list is going through. I was just amazed that they got this many people for this project, and it turned out the way it did. It's horrendous. I can't breathe. But yeah.
Sam, you got any more input?
There's a volcano in the movie.
I do like the final shot of the movie is just there's now a fucking volcano in the middle of LA.
That's because they're building up for a sequel. Because the end, it's very dramatic that the status is active. They were so trying to build up for a sequel.
Did they make one?
No, they would have called it Volcanoes, though, right?
There's just like 100 volcanoes and a bunch of dudes with assault rifles just shooting at them.
Get that militia, they're like, Chip ain't right.
Game over, man.
I want to see a collaboration of Home Alone and Volcano to where Kevin has to like stop it just with stuff around the house. That would be beautiful.
That could have just been a scene in the movie, like the fucking dog scene, but instead it's just like some kid in his house and he's trying to like stop lava from flowing into the living room, so he's like got like a bunch of Home Alone contraptions set up.
Like the paint can swings down, but it just like burns. He's like, oh no. The nail on the step didn't stop it.
He tries to tar and feather it.
Goes up the steps.
And then he puts a spider in front of it.
I think this lava could go up the steps.
Yeah.
Well, with the way the house melts, it would like hit that step at some point anyway.
No, I think it'd be better if it went up the steps.
Yeah, it like does the tiptoe noise.
Yeah.
Dude, Natalie, you said some real funny shit when we were watching the movie. It was when the volcano started like throwing fucking shit at everybody, and you were just like, the fire's shooting at us. I bet you.
All that was running through my head during that entire scene was just that scene from like that. Okay, pairing this to The Office, it felt like the stress relief on steroids when that initially started, and all that was in my head was, "Oh my god, the volcano's shooting at us!"
And then they throw the dog to the ceiling, and it like comes back down. Dad. It's like, take the teddy bear. And it's like, it only weighs like 10 pounds.
You're too heavy.
He's like, it's too
heavy. Smoking is going to save lives.
Oh, fuck. Let's see them slamming the copier into the lava. Journaling.
Yeah, instead of a bus, yeah, it's the copier.
Like they're throwing the copier into it.
All right, so I don't know how much more anybody's got to say on the movie, but I do have a prompt, I guess I will say, for each month. It'll be the same prompt for each week, but only one person will give their answer. So I'm going to go first to give you guys an example here and just to kind of get you guys prepared to have something in mind for the next one. But, so,
Odd answer.
The fuck is that one of you guys that just wrote in chat? I can't read that. My eyes are terrible.
The fact that he has real deals in his name seems like it's kind of a scam.
I want to offer... Yeah, I mean... I can't read what it says.
He wants to promote the channel for money.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a scam.
But lower is lower than any other competitor, Devin.
So... I was thinking about it last night while we were watching this movie. I was thinking, aside from Moonfall, which came out earlier this year, and I don't even know if you'd really consider it a natural disaster movie because, I know a little bit about what's going on with the moon in that movie, so it's not necessarily scientifically accurate or anything. Not that Volcano was. But I started thinking about it, I'm like, disaster movie as a whole is kind of a market that's gone cold a little bit in the last, 10, 15 years. The last, really good disaster movie that we got was The Day After Tomorrow. So, You said what?
That's a really good one. Yeah.
What, Beck? What are you saying? Your mouth is moving, but I don't hear anything.
No,
He's on
that's it.
he's on the phone, I think. But yeah, so I guess I should probably wait for him. I don't want him to miss this. I wonder if it's probably important chef stuff.
You guys want to talk about the
He's-
scene where they knock down the building?
He's making a tomato deal right now.
Yes.
Salad's
entire
got to get
building
tossed. Pasta's got to get made. You know. Like, around the clock.
So at the end of the movie, right? They knock down the building, and then this little kid that his
The one
daughter's
that-
looking for just wanders out of this parking garage and almost dies.
Yeah.
The building pretty much falls on the three of them, and they're fine.
Yes, that
No,
is.
they went in the parking garage.
And then they all looked like they just survived 9/11.
They all look the same.
But they all look the same. I wonder if somebody busted that out during 9/11. Somebody just quoted Volcano in the middle of the ground zero of 9/11. They're just looking around. Everybody's all shell-shocked and covered in ash. And they're just like, we all look the same, guys.
Well, speaking
It's
of
like that movie Volcano.
Speaking of 9/11,
Speaking
talking
of
about
9/11,
natural
when those
disasters.
buildings fell down. You know how much freaking smoke and ash and all types of shit there was, and there was not a single cloud in the sky.
Yeah.
When this giant building was demolished and blown up.
We talked about how the building shouldn't have fallen like that, unless there was explosions at the
It was
base
a-
of it.
There was an explosion.
No aftermath though. It was just like
Bush.
done.
It's
I
controlled
know you're
demolition.
listening. The Matrix is gonna come to get me soon, guys. It was fun.
Bruh, it came for Andrew Tate. It'll come for you too.
They can't stop me, and I'm influential.
Yeah, I mean the whole idea of dropping the building. I still don't completely understand what they were trying to stop it from going.
We're making a dam.
Okay, yeah. I heard that part, but I couldn't figure out what the
Yeah,
dam was blocking.
It was gonna flow a different way, but they wanted to flow
It's
it
diverting.
So they were
the,
gonna okay.
into the water channel,
That's what I thought,
the ocean.
but it
Well,
just
like, either way, the lava was gonna flow to where all the patients were. So knocking down this building, and they made the dam, which was then you saw the random lava river was diverting the path because there was now this dam, and then it was gonna flow right into the ocean.
yeah, because that would work.
Hmm.
Yeah, concrete negates lava effect, lava damage. You know.
So back to what I was talking about with the prompt. So I was thinking about it. It's like the disaster movie market has kind of been cold for the last like 10, 15 years. And I was thinking about it. I'm like,
Geostorm.
what if you got? Oh, I guess I forgot about Geostorm. But was that any good?
I never saw it. I just remember it came out, and I almost saw it.
But I was thinking like, what if you got like some really talented writers together to write like a fucking great disaster movie. So I thought about it and I came up with a little idea for a disaster movie of my own. And I'm going to share it with you guys. It's not like super detailed, it's just the basics of it, but it's an idea. And I just want each week I'll ask one of you guys what your idea of a disaster movie would look like. So mine, sit down in the theater, screen comes on, A24. And then it's produced by A24. It might even be, it's like actually an A24, or it's distributed by A24 at the very least. But so it'll open up with like basically kind of like Volcano, where you meet a couple of characters, and it would focus on a family. But instead of this shit where like a lot of disaster movies jump from like one character to another one in another part of the world that are all kind of tracking this thing at the same time. We're not getting any of that. We're just going to have this family and their like family problems for the first like 20, 30 minutes of the movie. And it's going to be like, it's all going to come to a head and they're going to get into this big ass argument. And it's going to, you know, kind of make them really mad at each other, not really want to be around each other. And then right then, fucking disaster strikes.
What kind?
I just realized I never really thought of that. Dude, that sounds like some A24 shit. It's a natural disaster is divorce storm.
Only a 50% chance you don't get hit.
No, oh no, that's right. No, I did think of what it was because I got inspired by Volcano. It'd take place around what is it, Yellowstone National Park, and it'd be the fucker erupts, and it's like the modern day Pompeii, where it just like wipes out everything around it within like. However, I know they said that if that thing erupted, it would be catastrophic for America. So
Catastrophic.
That thing goes off, kills lots and lots of people, including some of this family that we've been following for the first part of the movie, and then it's kind of so then everything is just from the perspective of this family, so then it's them kind of scrambling to figure out what the fuck just happened. Where to go, where is safety, who's going to help them, and then along the way, you know, for the next like hour, 20 minutes, you know, it's just like looking at destruction and dead bodies and like it's going to be kind of like The Road where they're going to run into other people that are kind of like, can we trust them right now because resources are scarce type shit, and then eventually they'll say sorry for the big argument that they had earlier and be like, I wish mom and dad weren't dead. And then that'll be the end of the movie.
No more Christmases.
You gotta have a little kid in there too.
Yeah, well, I think it would be...
That just wanders into...
I think it would be the parents die and then the kids have to figure out how to fucking get to safety.
If there's not a shot of like the younger child being held by the parent as they're dying and or melting, is it even a good movie? And like the older sibling runs over and takes him.
Well, because I think what would happen would be during the argument, something would happen so that the kids and the parents are not in the same room anymore. And then something happens to kind of like, maybe like when the shit goes off, it like hits part of, like they're right on the edge of the disaster zone. So like it just hits part of the house that the parents are in, and then they just like look out the whole of their house, and it's just like a big ass nuke went off or some shit. Because I think they also said that if that thing went off, it would like create enough ash. It would create enough ash to like cover enough of the globe that it would cause like the sun to not be able to reach us for like a long time, and it would kill a lot of people and plants and animals, and it would just like it would like destroy everything, not just physically, but just like it would just infrastructure would crumble.
This eruption is predicted to render 2/3 of the United States inhabitable and wipe out most of the world's population.
You said wipe out most of the world's population?
Yeah.
God damn.
I'll send something
The
in
U.S.
general.
is the world.
According to Marvel, yes.
Hey, they had
New York specifically.
They had a movie in Africa, and they had one in China.
Yeah, but didn't they always end up going back to the U? Oh wait, no. But what do they speak?
Well, they did end up. They didn't end up in New York in Black Panther.
They did at the end.
And then they also I never saw Shang-Chi, so I'm not really sure on that one. I'm pretty sure that one took place in China, though.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh.
there she is. She's back.
Too sure what just happened there. My computer was like, yeah, fuck you for a second.
Technological difficulties.
Yes.
But yeah, so what do you guys think? Would you go see my movie?
Yeah.
Sure.
So, I'm reading
Sure.
about
If
how
everybody else is going, I'll go. I just want to be a part of it.
You can wear your chef outfit.
fast-
What are you reading about,
Yeah.
Sam?
reading about how fast you would melt on lava.
So you do melt.
Yeah, but it'd take like 10, 15 minutes.
You'd combust.
And you'd still be alive.
Bro, I just thought of a name for the
I
movie,
mean, you would
too.
just combust at that point then because it's so hot. You wouldn't even fucking have time to like survive the melt and be alive during it.
You want to
Wouldn't
know?
you just dunk your head in first if it took that long and just get it over with?
But lava's pretty viscous. That's why you won't sink. And
I'll
also the
dunk my
top
head
of
in
it, the top of it cools.
What head in it?
You can't, because it's hardened. 'Cause it cools.
You haven't seen how hard I can headbutt. I'm like Cranidos.
You just fucking break your head open on lava.
And I die from that then, yeah. Not lava. He gave himself a brain hemorrhage headbutting lava trying to kill himself.
Too bad they left that scene out.
Crazy thing was, he wasn't even near the lava. He charged at it from 100 yards away. It was really weird. No, so I thought of a name.
Title of your movie.
The name of the movie is Pompeii, the sequel. And it's gonna be a comedy.
You should call it pomade because it's my head.
And then it's
Hair
gonna,
gel.
and then it's gonna be a musical comedy actually, with disaster movie elements. But
There was a part in Volcano. Sam said something. He was like, "I'm just waiting for them to break out in song."
At the end or something.
No.
holy shit, this
scientist
lava
lady
is hot.
The scientist lady had just gotten out of the manhole after her scientist friend had died. She got back to her.
She was like
Jeep.
leaning against the Jeep.
Yeah, there's like spotlights on her from the helicopter. People running around. There's no one talking, it's just background music.
They've watched a number of musicals recently, so
Musicals are cool.
we watched one around Christmas called Anna versus the Apocalypse. That one was really good. There was because it's a fucking Christmas zombie musical comedy. And so there's this scene where the main girl, she like leaves her house after having like a really great night hanging out with her best friend. And then she's in a really good mood when she wakes up the next morning and she like stretches and she gets out of bed, she gets dressed, she puts her AirPods in, starts listening to a song, and then she starts breaking out into a musical number as she goes through her front door. So she's singing about how it's a beautiful day, it's going to be a wonderful fucking day. And as she's singing, walking down the street behind her, you just see like people getting chased out of their houses by zombies and like people getting run over by cars and shit. And she is unaware of any of this happening because she's so focused on her musical number. It's actually really funny.
Pretty sure I downloaded that song on Spotify.
Alright, so get this. You would jump onto a pool of lava, not into it like a pool of water. Even in liquid form, most lavas, essentially liquid rock, is more dense and heavier per cubic measure than your body. You'd sink to your ankles or knees, depending on its consistency, then fall over and roast to death. Briefly, but still very painfully until your nerves burnt away.
That's the thing. I feel like that wouldn't take very long for your nerves to burn away, and then it wouldn't hurt.
So yeah, that's the thing they talk about, like burn victims, or like if you burned alive, like there'd be a point where you just didn't feel anything because your nerve endings are just gone. And I think a lot of the witches on trial they believe they probably died from smoke inhalation instead of like actually being burned alive.
Being burned alive, like one of the most painful things.
Well, yeah, you're burning all your nerve endings.
Euphoric.
So, I mean, I don't know.
Who told you that?
Jumping into lava.
Who drowned and then was like, yeah, I was fucking euphoric, bro?
They're just like, they say there's like a state like to where I guess your lungs are just completely filled and you're just like, your brain just shutting down at that point.
And you're like, I am one with water.
It's just euphoric, yeah.
I am water, water is
drowned.
me.
It's not a good time, okay?
I just simply drink.
You just drink all the water until you're not drowning
around me.
anymore.
I'm not gonna drown. I'm just hydrated.
Actually, if
There's
you
no
drop
dehydration.
into salt water, you would be less hydrated.
I just drink it.
You
Yeah, I'll
still
get a
wanna be
Gatorade
hydrated.
afterwards because it's got electrolytes.
That's what plants crave.
That's what plants crave. Exactly. Well,
Volcano was a movie.
It was a movie. What would you guys rate this movie out of 10?
4.
A 4?
Sam,
What?
I said that's fucked up.
What would you give it, Natalie?
Sucks.
10.
Wow, you'd give it a 10. People would read your review, go see this movie, and then be like, I don't know what crack she's smoking, but I'm never listening to another review of hers again.
The comedy.
Jesus Christ.
Comedy?
I'd give it like 3 eruptions.
3 eruptions.
Yes, how many eruptions would you give this movie?
Solid.
10 eruptions.
I'm gonna go with a 5.
5 what?
Y'all are smoking crack.
5 flaming magma bombs. 5 flaming magma bombs out of 10.
5 concrete barriers.
5 were all the same.
Is out of 10.
2 charred teddy bears.
5 Ernies from George Lopez out of 10.
Ernie. My grandfather's name.
Dude, when he was running through the train checking on everybody, I was like, come on, Ernie, you gotta save the fucking people. I don't think they ever gave that guy a name.
No, I don't think so.
So his name was Ernie. He was just playing Ernie from George Lopez. Ernie took a new job because they did live in California in that show too. So he just took a new job working as a train guy in L.A. Grew a mustache, made him look like Super Mario.
Is that what you're doing?
No.
Okay. Wahoo. Am I right? Give me the best Wahoo, damn it.
Okay, you got me, dude. I'm getting ready for the release of Super Mario.
You
All
got
right. I will be ready the day Super Mario comes out.
Sam's such a Luigi too.
Bro, you got the cooler game. You got the
Mansion?
you got the fucking Haunted Mansion game, which I never played, but I heard was really good. I always thought it looked
Well, not the
cool,
Haunted
though.
Mansion game because that's by Disney, but
No, but yeah, Luigi's Mansion.
yeah.
Also, did you ever play Grab by the Ghoulies, or does anybody remember the existence of that game? It was like an Xbox original. It was like the first Xbox, like a launch title for that.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Hold on.
Xbox
And
original, I
if this
remember.
is it, I'm about to tell you a fever dream of a story. This is exactly what I'm thinking. I got this DVD that had like Cartoon Network shows on it from a cereal box, and they were like ads in the game, right? And this was one of the ads for it.
Was it Grabbed by the Ghoulies?
Yes, I remember the
Yeah.
trailer so well because I watched it all the time because they had like an episode of Ed, Edd and Eddie on there, and this, oh my god,
Yeah, dude, I just always remember the commercials. They'd like show gameplay, and then they'd have like this cool sounding black dude be like, Grabbed by the Ghoulies. Get it now on the new Xbox. It's like, okay,
watch
damn,
the trailer.
I gotta go get that.
I gotta go grab the ghoulies.
And then I never did. I ended up playing Halo instead.
Wow.
You know what Xbox original I remember?
What's that?
Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Oh, hell yes.
Yes. That's such a good game.
I brought that game up when we did the Tom Hanks stream because of the Saving Private Ryan stuff.
Did we talk about that?
Yeah, I brought up the fact that they made fun of the beach scene from Saving Private Ryan, where there's like in the game there's like a fucking squirrel that's like walking around carrying his arm. It's like,
Man, wasn't D-Day hilarious?
it wasn't that game. But you were also a fucking, what is it? Was he he was a squirrel, right? Conker's a squirrel?
So.
Yeah, so he was a fucking squirrel with an army helmet and a cigar, swearing a bunch, watching another squirrel carry around his arm and like shell shock and shit. It was just, the game was ridiculous.
Dedicated. Oh, this guy speed ran, grabbed by the ghoulies.
I couldn't even tell you if people consider that a good game or not.
It looked good.
You know what would have been a great video game? Volcano.
Debatable.
Dude, they get Tommy Lee Jones to play Mike again in the game. They get all the actors to play their characters in the game.
That was just Two-Face's origin story as far as I'm concerned.
And it's like a turn-based strategy game. But it's like Sim City, but you're like trying to stop a volcano. So it's more like it's more like city management simulator, but like legit managing a city in an emergency. Honestly, that kind of sounds like that probably is a game like that already.
I'm pretty sure that's just City Skylines, but with the like natural disasters.
Well, there you go. They got to do a volcano edition of that.
It's a night.
So
Soup.
I was thinking next week we do Day After Tomorrow. The week after that I was thinking either Armageddon or Moonfall. And then maybe just we do whichever one we don't. You said what?
Isn't like the whole catastrophic thing from Armageddon?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll find it while you're wrapping up.
I just know Armageddon is. I fucking love that movie because the cast is just amazing in Armageddon. You got fucking Ben Affleck. You got Steve Buscemi, Bruce Willis, fucking Owen Wilson, if I'm not mistaken. I think Owen Wilson's in there. Yeah, dude.
Owen Wilson just is in movies, like, for no reason.
He really was in Marley and Me, and no one talks about that. Like, wow.
Dude,
He's like, wow, Marley. You and me.
He was the best part of Loki.
Not Tom Hiddleston?
No, it was Owen Wilson.
Wow.
Because Owen Wilson was trying to play a straight man. So he's like...
Yeah, but...
He's like not taking... Like, he's taking everything so seriously in it versus, like, he's always, like, a comedic role. And in Loki, he was very straightforward and just, like, no nonsense. But then he ended up... His whole thing was that he just really wanted a boat. And so everyone was hoping he was going to get a boat by the end of the first season, but then he didn't.
Jet ski.
Or a jet ski, that's right. He wanted a jet ski. That's close.
He hit me with the Owen Wilson Riz face.
The what?
His, like, Riz look. That's, like, the whole meme going around right now from Zoolander.
Dude, it's been a minute since I've seen that. I can't remember what
Thanks,
it's...
Sam.
I just remember Blue Steel.
That's all I wanted.
We should do a podcast
I'm
on
good
both
now.
we should do a podcast on both the Zoolander movies.
I tried to watch the first one on New Year's. I fucking hate those movies. I tried to watch the second one when it came out, and I was like, I'll piece it together, right? Like, couldn't understand what was going on. And I was like, well, I haven't seen the first one, so I tried watching it on New Year's. Still didn't make any sense. The best part was Ben Stiller doing blackface. That was hilarious.
That's how I feel about the Austin Power movies. I can't fucking stand those movies.
Yeah,
You don't like them?
No.
They suck.
I love those movies.
No, I cannot stand Austin Powers.
Ugh, I'm sorry.
It's groovy, baby.
I like Zoolander though. I haven't seen.
Oh, it's so stupid.
I haven't seen the second one. Honestly,
Powers is stupid.
I've been so hesitant to watch sequels to comedies ever since Joe Dirt 2.
Oh,
I was like actually excited for Joe Dirt 2 because I love Joe Dirt so much. And then I watched it and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a rule now where if I don't like a sequel, I just pretend it doesn't fucking exist. So that's how I treat Joe Dirt 2. And there was another one, but I think it was so bad that I really tried to erase that one from my memory because I remember I was like, yeah, this is going down with Joe Dirt 2 as one of the worst sequels I've ever fucking seen. I can't remember what it is.
We should do a Zoolander podcast.
be down.
Both movies.
He's gonna do the hair like it though.
Well, I think we should do Ben Stiller.
I'd
Do a month of Ben Stiller because he's got some great
Walter
fucking
Mitty, though?
movies. I've not seen that
One of my
one.
favorite movies. Like by him, it's one of my favorites, if not like my favorite.
Do we want directed by him or starring him?
It starring. I don't know if he had anything to do with production or not, but we watched it in my English class at once because we read like the novella that was based on, and it's a serious role that he's in, and it's so good.
Did he directed Severance? And that's like my favorite show of 2022 outside of the final season of Better Call Saul. And then the new season of Barry. I actually think I liked Severance more than the newest season of The Boys. But it's close because The Boys was awesome, but Severance was it was like the craziest fucking 9 hours of TV I've seen in a minute in terms of just the ideas behind it and the way that the story unfolds. It's just such a crazy concept, and then they're able to play with you as an audience member because of the way that it's the whole setup. So you got basically two different people living in one body because there's your work half and then your home life half, and they don't know what's going on in the other side. So you're able to do a lot with storytelling because of that. So, and that was Ben Stiller was the director of that, and that was one thing that surprised the shit out of me when I learned that. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know he directed stuff. But I do like Ben Stiller. Meet the Parents and Meet the Fockers are great.
Mm-hmm.
There's Something About Mary is one of the funniest movies ever fucking made.
There's one on Netflix with Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, Along Came Polly.
Or Along Came Polly. Yeah,
Dude,
that looked pretty funny.
it's
a ferret.
I watched that when I was a kid when that came out, and I didn't know what IBS was, but I remember the scene where
I know what IBS is.
she took him to an Indian restaurant, and he's got IBS, so he doesn't eat food like that, and she takes him to an Indian restaurant, and she's like having a great time. She's talking to him. She's eating her food. And then it cuts to him and he's like fucking sweating. And he's just like clearly in like pain, but he's like trying to keep a face. And so then they get back to her apartment and he's got to shit really badly. So he goes to the bathroom to shit. And then he realizes that she doesn't have any toilet paper. And he's in like a scramble. And he actually at one point looks at her ferret and considers using the ferret. But he's like, no. And then he like finds like some monogrammed hand towels, and so he uses those, and then he tries to like flush them and completely fucks up her toilet. I just remember that like scene sticks out to me so clearly from that movie.
That hits close to home. Never going to Mexican on a first date. My God.
But yeah, so next week we'll do Day After Tomorrow, and then we'll continue with the disaster movies for the rest of January, and then I think next month will be Aliens. And I want to do War of the Worlds at least 1 week with Tom Cruise. That is a fucking favorite of mine. Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning. And then whoever the fuck that guy is that played his son. That guy was in some movies for a minute and then he just disappeared.
Aliens? Can we do that Scooby-Doo movie where there's the aliens that come down and then Shaggy ends up like falling in love with one of the aliens?
Yeah, well, because she's in the form of like the Native Americans in that region are aliens.
She was a hippie.
Oh, was she? I thought she was like a Native American girl for some reason.
No, she's like a hippie and she's got a golden retriever.
Yeah, I remember the golden retriever.
And the Alien Invaders is phenomenal.
Yeah, I like that one.
We should do also.
Well, that was a run.
We should just do the Scooby-Doo movie.
Well, if we do that 1 month, it's gonna be that run that's got like Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island, Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invasion one.
It's like the witch with the hex girls in it.
Yeah, like those. That was
that
like
explains me so well now.
That was
who I've turned into.
The prime run of Scooby-Doo, in my opinion. That was like its high point. Was that run of movies?
They had one with Kiss in it, or they voice acted in it.
Dude, they just came out with one where it's Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog. And I started watching it, and it wasn't that good.
To God, I had a VHS of that growing up.
Well, you are wrong.
I swear. Okay, then it had to have been like part 1 was the Courage the Cowardly Dog episode. Part 2 was the Scooby-Doo with the aliens because the two motherfuckers were on this same VHS. I swear.
That just reminded me of a meme I saw where it was a guy took a picture of his desk and it had like his computer and shit on it, and it was in the back corner of this room next to like one window, and somebody he's like, should I upgrade my setup? And somebody commented, bro, you got the same setups Courage had. It was like a side by side, and it was literally it looked like Courage's computer setup on like the little desk in the corner.
Dude, that show.
What do you guys feel about Scooby snacks?
Jinkies.
Like the graham cracker ones?
That or the fruit snack ones?
The fruit snacks were god tier.
They did them dirty. They got rid of like the solid blue Scooby. They did it dirty.
Matte blue, man, that shit hit different.
Yeah,
it did. I remember like sitting on the bench at soccer games, like, I was like, this is what's gonna get me through the next period, like half.
You think these guys do this on purpose? They're like, what's the best part of this thing? Okay, let's get rid of that and just piss them off. Like, because I don't think anybody is happy that they took that out of the Scooby-Doo fruit snacks.
No, like why couldn't you do it anymore?
Right.
Why don't you release a line that's all matte?
That would be sick. But watch, it's like there's like cancer. There's like something that gives you cancer and the matte blue dye.
Cigarettes doesn't stop me. I'll just die quicker because these gummies. I'm like,
I'm pretty sure Ricardo told me he would take the Scooby snacks, the graham cracker ones, he said a glass of milk.
It's like graham crackers and milk.
Oh, like he'd make a bowl of cereal?
Pour the Scooby snacks into the glass and milk and then have cereal that way.
Yeah.
That's actually not a terrible idea.
It's like when you get the mini Oreos and you pour milk into them, so it's cereal.
On that.
That's a way to start your morning. Give that.
It's how my brain functions.
Give that to your kids and send them to school. Well, teachers will love them.
Like, your kids are they're biters.
All right, well, I guess we could call it on this one. I don't think we have anything else to talk about with Volcano. This was a movie.
Great movie.
This was
a movie.
3 out of 10 eruptions.
This was, in my opinion, this is like when I think of a 90s disaster movie, this is what I think of. So
Disaster movie.
To laugh. This is the type of movie I want to watch.
Watch Dumb and Dumber.
It hit all the right notes in terms of like the establishment of like it reminded me of Day After Tomorrow, honestly, in the first like 20 minutes when they're like jumping around and showing all these different characters. But then it didn't end up paying off nearly as well as Day After Tomorrow does.
Would This Is the End qualify?
As a disaster movie?
Yes.
This is the end?
Yes.
We said natural disasters.
It's naturally occurring.
It's the rapture.
It's happening. It's occurring. It's a disaster.
It's not natural though.
Satan's large is pretty natural. He's not on what did they call what did Liverman just get caught for?
HGH.
He was like, Satan wasn't on any PEDs.
Yeah, performance enhancing drugs, yeah.
Yes, sir. All natural, baby.
Titty fucks Jonah Hill.
I'm gonna titty fuck you, Seth. He's like, don't titty fuck back. It's not that compelling, Jay. I'm gonna go back to my dick tent.
All right, y'all. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode. This is the first of many to come this year. It's kind of all over the place the last couple months with just everything going on. But now things have slowed down a little bit. Should be able to do this very consistently now. And it'll be easier now, too, that we're only doing one movie a week.
Still procrastinated.
When did you watch this? Right before?
Like 7 o'clock, I turned it on. Like, shit, how long is this movie? I still don't remember a damn thing.
Yeah, I meant to watch this movie again today, but I ran out of time.
I wouldn't. It's funny.
All right, y'all. Well, I guess we will re-adjourn here on Twitch next week. In the meantime, I'm going to have this uploaded to YouTube tomorrow. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to check out the next live stream, we're going to be doing this, I think, same time next Tuesday, 10:30, 11 o'clock. I think we'll usually try to group around 10:30, be live by 11. So and then go for about an hour and a half. And that'll be, I think, the plan going forward, as long as that's cool with everybody. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'm Devin.
Sam.
Back.
And we will see you guys on the next one. Peace.